This is Devin from Visions, and today on Cash Clips, we're talking about how to choose the right credit card. So credit cards are one of those things that seem kind of simple. I mean, you swipe, you pay, you're done. But then when you really start thinking about it, I mean, is it a loan? And what about interest rates and intro rates and limits and rewards and late fees? And when you start thinking about it, credit cards are a lot more complicated than they sound. So first things first, is it a loan? The answer is yes. And specifically, it's an open-ended loan. Now, compare that to like a closed-end loan. That's the traditional thing, like your auto loan, your mortgages, your personal loans, stuff that you take out all one lump sum, and then you have fixed standard payments on it over time. Compare that with an open-end loan like a credit card. You only pay on what you advance. So you swipe, you get a charge, you only pay that for the month. So like any loan, your credit score has a big impact on the decision and the type of card you get. So I mean, it could have implications for the type of card you qualify for, whether you qualify for a promotional rate, what your interest rate's gonna be, and a whole lot more. Let's talk interest rates, which are really important because as an open-end line of credit, an unsecured loan, the interest rates tend to be a lot higher than they would be on those traditional closed-end loans. Now, when you're shopping around for a card, what you want to look for is the APR. Now, that's the annual percentage rate, which, just to put it simply, that's your interest rate. The lower your interest rate is, the less you're going to pay. Well, assuming that you don't carry a balance month to month. See, the way that credit cards work is any charges that you make within 1 month aren't actually due until the following month. It's called a statement period. So let's say that you're in the month of July and you spend $500 on your credit card, you're not going to have to pay that bill until the following month in August. And generally speaking, if you pay off that $500 in the month of August, you're not going to pay any interest on those purchases. Let's talk introductory and promo rates. Now, chances are you've seen the advertisements. Open up a card with us, you get 12 months interest-free on your purchases, which is great because that means from month to month as those statement balances close, you're not going to pay a penny of interest during that 12 months. So you can keep making your payments, no problem. You're only going on the principal of the loan. What you need to worry about, though, is the end of that 12-month period. So some card programs have it set up that if you don't pay off your balance in full, at the end of that 12 months, you might have to pay every cent of interest that you would have accrued along the way. So make sure that you read the fine print because that 0% for 12-month deal might not be such a good deal after all. So we've talked payments, interest rates, intro rates. Next up is limits, which actually might be one of the most important parts of having a credit card because at the end of the day, that determines how much you can spend. What determines that, though, is based on many factors. So it could be your credit score, could be the type of credit card you're applying for, it could even be how long you've banked with that institution. Some institutions will start you off with a lower limit and then automatically increase that over time. Now, your limit might be the most important factor to your developing credit score. And that's because over a third of your credit score is based off of your capacity for credit. And that means basically your balance relative to your available credit. So if you have a $30,000 credit line, but you've only spent $500 on it, you're going to be much better off than someone who's maxed it out. If you have other questions about credit, check out 2 more of our videos. We have one called What is Credit? And another one about building and rebuilding your credit. Just check out our YouTube channel. So you got all these points. What's next? Well, depending on the type of card you have, you can use that for cash back, merchandise, travel, maybe even donations to your favorite nonprofit. Make sure, though, that you pay attention to the expiration date of your rewards, because some cards, if you don't use them, you lose them. So next up is annual fees. And those are typically with the more premium, shiny credit cards. You know, the stuff that you use for big travel, big purchases, really large experiences. Those might come with a $40 up to $500 annual fee. And sometimes it's kind of tucked away in there. You know, maybe the first year there's no annual fee. So make sure that you read the fine print to make sure that you don't get hit with something later on. Speaking of fees, late fees. Bottom line, just don't be late. See, the thing about late fees is that they vary based on the institution. Sometimes you get hit with a $20 or $40 fee if you're 1 day late. Sometimes you have a grace period. Sometimes it might even jack up your interest rate to be higher than what you signed on for in the beginning. Make sure that you read the fine print, and above all, make your payments on time. Now let's talk store cards, because we've all been there. You're waiting in line, you're about to check out, and the cashier says to you, "Do you want to sign up for a credit card and save 15% today?" It sounds like a good deal on paper, but for the most part, you really want to avoid them. That's because store credit cards have exorbitantly high interest rates, like 25 to 30% on your purchases high interest rates. So if you factor in you might be saving 15% today, you might be paying 30% tomorrow. So next time, just say no thank you. Bottom line, make the credit card work for you, and ideally, make it make money for you. Check with your financial institution or a good, reputable company when you're shopping around for a card, and you'll be glad you did. I'm Devin from Visions with another episode of Cash Clips, and I hope that you learned something about credit cards today and how to choose the right one. We have a lot more content out there on credit and other topics. Check out our YouTube channel, make sure that you like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time on Cash Clips.